All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're traveling way back in time to the year 1564, right into the heart of central India. We're looking at an absolutely incredible story of leadership, brilliant strategy, and just an unbreakable will. The title of our explainer today is The Crucible of Leadership, Rani Durgavati's Immortal Stand. It's a truly fascinating look at how one leader stood incredibly firm against a seemingly unstoppable force. But before we dig into the historical facts, I want to toss out a lingering question to kind of set the stage for this story. No matter how vast an empire may become, can it ever truly defeat the courage of those who fight for their honor? I want you to keep that question right in the back of your mind as we walk through the fascinating events that unfolded back in 1564. Section 1. The Kingdom of Gondwana, a heaven amidst the hills. Okay, so to really grasp this conflict, we first have to understand the coveted prize. Gondwana was practically a paradise. We're talking dense sal forests, rocky valleys, and the beautifully calm Narmada River. Now, at a time when the Mughal Empire was rapidly expanding across northern India, absorbing kingdom after kingdom, Gondwana actually managed to remain completely independent. Nestled among the Vindhya hills, this prosperous land was basically the last stronghold of dignity and freedom against that massive expanding empire. But, as you can probably guess, a storm was definitely brewing on the horizon. Moving on to Section 2, Rise of the Queen, the architect of prosperity. Let's look at the incredible leader at the center of all this. Born into the Chandela dynasty, she definitely didn't live your typical quiet royal life. I mean, she mastered warfare, archery, and horseback riding to a level that seasoned soldiers deeply admired. Her marriage eventually made her the Queen of Gondwana, but tragedy struck a few years later when King Delpit Shah passed away, leaving the kingdom with a very young heir. And at this incredibly critical moment, she was thrust into ultimate authority, taking the full weight of the entire kingdom squarely onto her shoulders to protect her people. And the thing you have to understand is she didn't just occupy the throne, she took definitive action. This is such a crucial lesson in leadership, really. She built this unbreakable foundation by uniting her kingdom, dramatically increasing agricultural production, building vital reservoirs, and securing trade. She masterfully engineered an era of flourishing prosperity. But well, as is so often the case, immense success, especially in a kingdom rich with resources and vast herds of elephants, tends to attract powerful adversaries. Which brings us to Section 3, the Mughal Empire approaches, the gathering storm. So when these two forces finally clashed, the contrast was just stark. Actually, scratch that. It wasn't just stark, it was a classic David versus Goliath matchup. On one side, you've got the invading force, ordered by Emperor Akbar, the massive Mughal Empire army led by Commander Asaf Khan. They're well-trained, heavily equipped with advanced weapons, cannons, and they have fresh reinforcements literally waiting in the wings. Then, on the other side, the defenders, the Gondwana army. They're a significantly smaller force, sure, but they hold unique advantages that no invader can just march in with. They have an intimate knowledge of the local forests, a massive rugged terrain advantage, and just an absolute unbreakable determination to defend their homeland. Section 4. Stand at Narai Valley, the tactical stand. So, how do you even fight back against an army that huge? Well, you need a brilliant strategy. Rani Durgavati found her advantage in the physical geography. The Nari Valley had these high mountains rising steeply on one side, and the wide, calm Narmada River on the other. This geography naturally created a devastatingly narrow passage right in between them. It was absolutely perfect for a smaller defending force trying to hold back a sprawling, massive army. For the military historians out there, this is a textbook tactical choke point. By utilizing this strategic geography, Rani Durgavati literally forced the massive invading army to fight on a tiny fraction of the front. Basically, Asaf Khan couldn't use his massive army all at once. The queen brilliantly ensured that the rugged landscape itself would work actively against those endless waves of Mughal soldiers, completely neutralizing their numerical advantage right at the point of combat. Section 5. An Immortal Sacrifice. The climax of the battle. Picture this. As the first rays of dawn broke over the Narai Valley, clouds of dust rose up, war drums were echoing through the hills, and a literal storm of arrows darkened the sky. You can almost hear the thunder of galloping horses and clashing swords shaking the valley as the well-armed Mughal forces relentlessly advanced under Asaf Khan. Time and again, they pushed forward with their cannons and superior equipment, but exactly as she planned, the rugged landscape of the valley fiercely pushed right back against them. But you know what truly anchored the defenders' morale? It was who was on the battlefield with them. Right in the absolute center of the chaos rode Rani Durgavati herself, highly visible to everyone atop her war elephant. She wasn't a queen safely watching from behind the lines, not at all. She was a true commander fighting directly alongside her people. It's just a timeless example of leading from the front. Every single command she shouted out inspired renewed courage in her much smaller army. But reality inevitably sets in. After hours of intense fighting, the grim reality of pure exhaustion took hold. The vast difference in numbers became totally impossible to ignore as fresh Mughal reinforcements just kept continually arriving. And then tragedy strikes on the battlefield. An arrow hits the queen near her neck. But her resolve is staggering. Despite this critical injury, she outright refuses to leave the battlefield. Soon after, another arrow pierces her body. She is bleeding heavily, yet her eyes remain fiercely fixed on the fight. Her soldiers were desperately pleading with her to retreat to safety. But when it became crystal clear that capture was inevitable, she made a definitive, history-defining choice. She absolutely refused to surrender or bow before the enemy. Instead, she chose to sacrifice her own life. She made the ultimate determination that her honor was vastly more important than her survival. And as the mountains of the Nari Valley stand in silence today, they echo a truly powerful truth. To become immortal in history, one does not need the greatest empire, only the greatest courage. Rani Durgavati proved for all time that true immortality belongs to those who fight for their honor until their very last breath. And it leaves us with this powerful question to think about. When the odds are completely, overwhelmingly stacked against you, what are you willing to stand for?